This video is sponsored by Workday. What is the main difference between growth and scaling? Growth for a company means increasing the company's revenue while adding more resources, where scaling is about making a greater impact with the resources you already have. Scaling is a jump into the next league of revenue while not changing much of the current costs. It's also focusing on how you get your business to adapt to changes in marketplaces conditions while growing exponentially. Welcome to Global Tech Box. I'm your host, Cedric Pollack, and in this series, we talk to startup CFOs who are generously and generally sharing their insights and experiences with fellow CFOs. We partnered with Workday, who is a leading provider of enterprise cloud applications for financial management, human resources, planning, spend management, and analytics. Basically everything you need as a CFO of a fast-growing startup. These tools and solutions have been adopted by thousands of organizations around the world and across industries. This is the third episode of 4 where we talk to the CFOs of the fastest growing startups in Europe. We will discuss 4 main topics from different perspectives: growth, transparency and flexibility, scaling in this video, and last but not least, compliance in the next video. The CFOs will shed some light on these topics and share their experiences, learning, failures, and success. Today, I'm going to sit down with the CFOs of Comparis, Starmind, Crypto Finance, and Sherpany to talk about scaling. If you haven't already, check out the first 2 videos in this series. Just click on the link in the description below. You can't overlook the importance of scalability if you want your company to thrive. It seems obvious that these tastes and preferences of your clientele will change, and what's high in demand today may not be in high demand tomorrow. So if you don't track these changes and adjust accordingly your operations, you risk being left behind. I asked a few top CFOs what their KPIs are to make sure they are scaling, and here is what they have to share.
At the end of the day, it's really about the GMV, so the gross merchandising value, that is the value of all the transaction on the marketplace. And then from that, obviously, we have a set of smaller KPIs, for example, the available offers on the marketplace, the conversion rate of the marketplace into users, and we are controlling each of those KPIs individually and trying to increase them at the same time to keep a balance between supply and demand.
What's important to us is that we are not just look at the financial KPIs, as I said before, the ARR and so on, but also that we look at our network KPIs so that we see if a network is used the way it should be used by our customers. So we see, one is, for example, a stickiness index, so that we see how many users will come back if they have activated their account once, and there we see if something is working and if we can scale with our product as well.
But the question is, how do businesses scale?
So we're a fully digital company, so our business model scales very well. The difference in scaling really is, how deep do we go in supporting the customer and the consumer in executing on a transaction. Obviously, the less deep you go, the more rapidly it scales. Mm-hmm. But we can scale and have scaled all of our activities up in the last years.
Our business model is that we offer a digital solution to our customers for meeting management.
Yep.
So we think that most of the company or all of the companies, they have formal meetings in place. They have many informal meetings, and meetings are time consuming and causing a profitability of the or impacting profitability of the company. As we are very successful in Switzerland, we also think see the opportunity to grow into new markets like Germany.
Yeah.
And there we see a lot of huge companies which don't have a solution like this in place, and we can contribute a lot to their profitability.
Sherpany is a leading meeting management software and currently is able to scale within its existing resources at 30 to 40% each year. As far as agile scaling goes, this is how Tanja Thiebach perceives it.
We name ourselves as an agile company, and we also apply the MVP mindset.
Yes.
So that means we do iterative steps and to baby steps on the success path, which is important for us to come up with a solution very quick. and to also be flexible to adapt to customer needs. That's very important for us.
Making the decision to scale up your business is definitely exciting because it has so much potential for success, but it's not without its challenges.
To me, the biggest challenge was definitely growing from the number of 25 employees to 75 employees. We were 2 employees dealing with all finance, compliance, HR matters, and growing means also that you have to, I had all the expertise, so I had to teach the new employees about it, so they were ready to do it. And afterwards, it was aligning all the employees with each other.
The biggest challenge, I would say, let's take for instance broker. I know that we don't have the same setup for each client at the broker, and that makes it maybe a bit more difficult to scale the brokerage business, because when you have to create a unique setup for each client, then you're not really scalable.
I mean, the biggest challenge, of course, is always on the one hand, automation is, that's the efficiency side, and the other one is effectiveness. How do you, on a digital basis, deliver relevant insights to the businesses so that, that you scale rapidly, but that, don't come too close to the sun and then the wings melt?
A repeating theme that we see from our CFO experts in the field is that scaling usually doesn't come with immediate automation and streamlined processes in place. The learning curve is steep, and there can sometimes be bottlenecks and detours in the scaling journey. So how can CFOs be supported in scaling up, or how can technology support CFOs during this scaling process? I sat down with Frank Wenz, finance expert at Workday, to find out more. Learn it here yourself.
I think that the basis for scaling is automation in finance, right? So you need to look at the processes and eliminate the human interaction with the system, and automate most of, let's say, the stuff nobody really needs to touch because they are not adding value. And we have done that in the system via totally different mechanisms.
So while you work on growing revenue and your client accounts, you might end up feeling overstretched over some time. But the work pays off in the end. And of course, there are ways to make it simpler for yourself.
I really think it comes down to getting the right people.
Yeah.
If you put the right people in place and if you enable them to do the best work, everything else will solve by itself.
But most importantly, be prepared for the growth that is about to come your way. With teamwork, responsibility, and determination, you can get anywhere. CFO Talks, sponsored by Workday, will be back next time for the last episode, and we'll be taking a look at the compliance with quotes from the top CFOs of fast-growing startups in Europe. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to make sure you don't miss the newest video. I'm Cedric Pollack, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.